Yo, what's up? It's been a while. Back on this economic bench. No, I kind of did get distracted after I finished part one, which was I just to reintroduce myself. My name is Blake Ninja. I am here trying to go through my journey of becoming GACE certified to teach in my state. Now, my original claim. Let's go get it done in a week. After taking the assessment, um, scoring relatively high, almost mastery on two of the levels. I was like, yo, I'm gonna go through this material, get it done in a week, take the test. I got distracted. Borderlands 4, unfortunately, threw me back, but I am still gonna make sure that I do it in the same amount of days. I haven't touched the material, unfortunately, since, but that's not gonna stop me. I remember most of it, all of it. So, what I plan to do is before the 30 days are up for the review material, which is in like 4 days. So it's kind of the exact same scenario, except opposite. Instead of having more time to fall back on, I'm now on the clock. I've done this would be this third session, which would be covering part one of macroeconomics. Now, macroeconomics is it's actually the side of economics I would say I'm my least of strengths. Um, I understand all of it, but it is the one that I'm like, I understand. You have to understand your strength, and my micro is more my strength. But macro's cool. All right, let's get into it. GDP, 10 economic indicators, stakeholders, healthy economy, consumers, producers, government. All right, buyers, the makers, the regulators. Nah. Let's see. This is a similar mindset. See, this is what got me in project management. Is these things, these factors, these indicators, the things that always come up to determine where we're going, when we're going, why we're going. Okay, indicators. GDP, understood, makes sense. GDP is not great. Mm-hmm. Consumer spending. I mean, that's part of GDP. Okay. Inflation. Yeah. Let's see. Employment. So inflation, employment. How an economy's employment numbers are. Changes in consumer goods. So I have to speak industrial production. So who's doing good in the economy as far as industry leading producers? Ford for America, Ford, Apple, whoever else. Home sales. Oh yeah, which we are at a record low right now as far mostly because the economy has affected, of course, employment. The housing market is in a flux because COVID kind of put it in a tizzy and brought it back, and then apparently there's a housing shortage, so we need more. People actually want more. The demand is here, but the supply is here. So home building, which they are in the process of. Oh, so I guess if you look at these factors of our own economy, yikes! Construction spending, manufacturing demand, that's high. Building, manufacturing, data centers everywhere. That's the new uh, hot topic right now at the point. And then retail sales. So, how is Target doing today? All right, I got good examples for all of these. And like I said, as far as ours, Our GDP, I haven't looked at the exact numbers, but it can't be. Consumer spending's down. Business investment may be up. Government spending is in an influx. The and foreign trade is down due to tariffs. So GDP, just by off those numbers, can't be super high compared to previous years. Inflation, consumer spending, like I said, down because of employment rates, which is right there. Employment figures, our unemployment is high as it's been for a while. Inflation is, see, prices are going up in certain areas, which according to this would indicate economic growth. But I think it's also just people trying to make their money in spite of people not having it. So eventually it might trend down, and that's going to lead to, as it says, a recession. Um, Industrial production. That's something that the tariffs were trying to, as far as increasing more domestic industrial production. Um, right now, it's flux. Home sales, no. Home building, flux. We're in a shortage of homes. Construction building, like I said, lots of data centers. They're building those, but as far as like, yeah, that's probably the main thing that's being built is Amazon data centers and Amazon fulfillment centers, and along with Microsoft. That's the big topic right now. And then retail sales, which is down because yeah. So no. According to these 10 indicators, I'm not doing too hot. Yep. Two primary tools to help economists determine the the health of an economy would be the GDP, which I think actually might be like consumer. Let's have to look at the number myself. And then the CPI, which is the Consumer Price Index. Inflation, business cycle, upswings, downswings, output, employment, income, sales, altering the phases. I think we're trying to end a lower cycle and try to get up into an up cycle. But once again, these are things I can definitely just confirm. Hmm. So I could bet our GDP was increasing. What due to though? It can't. I would like to know because I was like, no, there's actually been a lot of government spending and getting money and spending it. But where is it going? Like that's where I can't talk to that. Oh, like this ain't our GDP, man. To the moon. Mm. 73% labor participation. Hmm. These numbers are interesting. Well, a lot of people got fired in 2020, of course. This is not, huh? Interesting numbers. Some of it was sidetracked. Anyways, let's see. depth, diffusion, duration, deception. Then indicators move, provide clarity. Multiple ways to measure economic success of a nation. Many capitals mean more money, more growth, more workers, more synonymous with economic success. More than that, we need more than money to survive. Genuine progress indicator. Healthy middle class, which, yeah, no. The middle class is fading. Value of household, I want to say that was at one point. Now it's read as 40,000 now. I'm like, I want to say it was higher than that before. But cost of crime, pollution, resource depletion, leisure time, lifespan. These are things. Our lifespan of consumer goods, gross happiness, national happiness, spiritual well-being. I like this. I don't remember learning any of this. This is newer stuff. Mm. Ecological footprints, biocapacity. Okay, I like it. Yeah, we don't we're going over these figures. They're important. These things that affect financial decision making. Price stability. The goal of a central bank is to improve stability. Okay. Let's see. Consumer spending is the total money consumers spend a household for stuff, things, enjoyment. All right, we're at this point where I guess not going to those things I just saw. So yes, we're definitely in the trough period, and they're saying we're about to come about to a peak, but we'll see. Unemployment rates affecting people like myself. Let's see. People who are jobless, actively seeking work. Remember, if you're not looking for a job, you are not unemployed. You just don't work. It's the difference. Um, what did it say? And it's saying like 5% is the norm. It's saying it's 4.3. When I'm like I said during COVID, it got as high as 12, 15%. 4.3. This is what as far as August. Hmm. Where are these numbers? Because everyone else, it's a lot of layoffs that are happening. I guess there's a lot of job opportunities that are coming up and open and available somewhere, some field. Um, Overall price increases in the country, purchasing power. The goal of a healthy economy is to keep it at 2 or less, which our inflation levels right now are at poverty rate. A lot of people in poverty, 4.4 million. A lot of, oh, see, it's the wellness thing. Yo, so these COVID deaths as part of the statistics. COVID cases, 100. Okay. Employment rates, 163 million employed, 40K average. Um, I like this breakdown. 78 years sales life expectancy. Expenditures on exportation. St. Martin, Belize, Jamaica, Mexico. I mean, the leaders. 0.8. Anyways. All right. Interest rate was charged on top of the principal lender. Right. Which was recently being reconsidered by the Fed, the federal bank. In business economic cycles, business cycles changes in economic activities have been equal expansions or contractions. Expansion times and contractionary periods, which is some type of recession. Um, Pest analysis: political, economic, social, technological. Pest. Got it. Potential business threats and opportunities. SWOT and pest analysis. SWOT a pest. SWOT. SWOT a pest. SWAT a fly. SWOT: strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, threats. Resources. Things you do well. Things that separate you from competitors. I like that. Tangibilities. I don't know. Weaknesses. Things your company lacks. Areas where competitors are better. Limited resources. Things that everyone else does. Opportunities. Markets. Few competitors. Need for your service. Promotion opportunities. Threats. Increasing competition. Ooh, I like this. Negative publicity. Declining. Okay. Political factors measure political stability and government action. Economic impacts on business and growth. Social buying patterns and behaviors in society. Technological automation and innovation. Where does AI fit? It's making arguments about copyright situations and stuff like that. It's affecting businesses because people's stuff is being stolen and replicated without being credited for their stuff. It's making people weary of what's real, what should be bought, what's true art. But it is also automating and making things really, really easy to do. Boom, breakdown. As far as its strengths, it replicates information really, really fast. It's not creative and often steals from other artists or other pieces of information and data. It has opportunities to try to synthesize a model that does a specific task that does, in a way, create its own things, but then it gets rid of jobs of people who, participate in those industries and use their brains every day to do it. So, bow. All financial markets function benefit citizens in the country operate. Price determination. Capital formation. Fund mobilization. Cover costs of a project before invoicing, like credit. Liquidity. That's that cash. Gotta have that cash. Market efficiency. Prices reflect. I'm ready to get to the graphs, man. I just need to remember how these graphs work, yo. Entrepreneurs must look at all financial options for significant capital to start a business. I agree. I got something in mind. I need some capital. Economic growth is one of the important components of American government. Morocco, for sure. Unemployment, decreasing consumer goods because if we don't have money, we can't spend. We broke. Exhibit A. Sometimes you spend when you don't have it. That's just bad credit. Happens too. Capitalism. Labor force, people who work in full employment is when you work and ain't no days off. These are the areas in the breaks. Productivity, increase in output, work, physical capital, machinery, technology, lifts, blah blah blah. Human capital, taking classes, doing what I'm doing, increasing certificates, knowledge, blah say blah, and then technological progress, increases of AI, increases in I guess skill specific technology in certain areas. Manufacturing automation for cars has been progressing. Um, Transportation, all that stuff. And then we got employment. Ooh boy, big U. All right, seasonal employment. This one's easier to remember because you got to think about seasonal. Construction, agricultural work. Season's bad, you're not working, right? Cyclical unemployment, which is kind of based off the economy cycle or anything. If there's a cycle of business where there's a hot period, there's a not period. Like I guess kind of like seasonal, but it's more based off, as it says right here, the level of the economy. Pretty much luxury versus necessity. The Switch 2 being sold at 450 during a downturn in the economy is crazy. They're gonna sell less. In theory, they've been selling pretty well. But in theory, they should sell less because of the contractionary period that we're in. We're not gonna spend that much luxury prices on the least powerful game console. That's something that you do in a more expansionary period when everyone's more on top. It might lead to people getting laid off, or they have. I mean, Doug Bowser's retiring, or I think that is so strange, and that to me is actually a good example. He's announcing that he will be leaving, and it's like, you haven't even been president too long, and it's like, so this after you guys just launched your brand new, you should be able to reap some of those benefits, but there's a lot of other flack in other areas going down. So frictional unemployment, a period of being unemployed while looking for new work. Maybe that's me, or I don't know. But I also think I fall more into the structural unemployment, where surplus in workers, aka what happened during COVID. A lot of people went to technology because they were forced to work from home and stay away from people, distance. So oversaturation here, a gap from the skills of workers who have, and so real people got separated from the just wannabes, and then AI came and took everyone, so everyone gets pushed aside because AI has more skill than all of us, in a lot of those or some of those technological areas. But they refer to as like, oh no, I guess for example they would say it's like AI taking over customer care, customer service representative jobs. That's what I think the example they refer to. Because before, you know what I mean, it was just word of mouth, and it became callers, and now it's just some automated AI voice that takes over and does it for you. So yeah, technological advancement. Comments can the economy will regulate itself. Human toll business cycle intervene. Stabilization policies, taxation, government. These are the things that we try to do to intervene intervene in the free market, and then it can go either way. It's also looking at some transcripts and stuff, I realized how many policy analysis classes I took at Georgia State, and it's just like, yeah, analyzing those things that consider the toss ups, what the end results would be, as I was explaining to someone else already too. It's a lot. It's a lot of factors. All right, so the Federal Reserve, which some people need to go back and relearn this part, the cornerstone of the United States of financial stability, wielding significant influence over a nation's economy, understanding its structure, core functions, mechanisms employ monetary policy is crucial for comprehending the broader economic landscape. Some people don't even know who the Federal Reserve are. Federal Reserve is, but hey, you got the Board of Governors, D.C., 7 members appointed by President, confirmed by Senate. Boom. They look at the Federal Reserve banks and they determine that interest rate, formulating national monetary policy. 12 Federal Reserve banks all across the U.S. in geographical locations that serve commercial banks and payment processing for loans and whatever else. They regularize the banks in their districts and they, gather that information. And then the Federal Open Market Committee sets the nation's monetary policy. Another 7 members from the Board of Governors, the President of the Federal Reserve, and other bank presidents who rotate. Open market operations. Yeah. The Wallies. Payment processing, electronic funds, something that PayPal and Steam had some issue with. I forgot I had these things in my head for my daughter. That's hilarious. And then bank supervision, they regulate, you know, safety, soundness, financial conditions, all that funny, fun stuff. Evaluate economic conditions, move forward, determine monetary policy. Maximum employment, price stability. That's what we want. Range of stuff, inflation rate, unemployment rates, GDP growth, financial market conditions, and then consolidated reports from the 12 Federal Reserve. The FOMC. Did they mention the FOMC somewhere else? I know I should know it, but oh, Federal Open Market Committee. Yeah, no, they didn't summarize that there. Regularly assess economic conditions and make decisions. Tools of monetary policy. The discount rate, the interest rate in which commercial banks can borrow money directly from the Fed. Changes to the discount rate influence the other interest rates, which is what they're trying to get done, yo. But we'll see. Open market operations, buying and selling U.S. Treasury securities. Of course, this increases the money supply and the interest rates. Buying securities increases the money supply. Selling securities decreases the money supply and raises the interest rate. So they're what's the one that affects counteract each other? It's a terminology. I'll get back to it. Federal requirements: percentage of bank deposits required to hold before they start taking out money from the people. Changes can affect how much money banks can lend out before they start going crazy. So the interest on reserve balances pays interest on balance reserves at the Fed to like help the federal funds rate. Federal funds interest rate. The Federal Open Market Committee targets set range for federal funds, and then using them tools, they can influence interest rate, money supply, and other things that can alleviate and or upstart the economy. Test. So I thought. So I'll take a pause here, take this test, and I'll be right back with you.